what kinds there are?
Kinds of what?
Drugs.
I know.
You know you can smoke them.
Sure, like a cigarette.
And you can take them like a pill, too. And you can sniff them.
You can what?
Sniff them. Smell them like a flower.
Come on.
It's true. And you can stick them in your arm with a needle.
A needle?
A big old needle.
Not me, boy.
What if you had to?
Why would I have to?
Because.
Because what?
Well, I mean,
What?
drugs are like that.
When people are more isolated, they lose socialization and other aspects of what keeps us well. And so we tend to go towards substances or instant gratification. It could be technology in these cases, but also substance use and other things. I think that's something that I've seen clinically.
Man has always been interested in altering consciousness, his own or others. Historically, the task was left to alchemists, oracles, and medicine men.
I've seen definitely an increase in ketamine, where, this time 2 years ago, I started off just grabbing an ounce at a time, and now I'm moving about a kilo a month with that. So, ketamine is a growth area. MDMA has slowed down a lot. It's also because people are using it for, depression and things like that, right? More and more people who are depressed now are turning to substances like ketamine, as well as psilocybin and other classic psychedelics to, treat their depression. We self-medicate with a variety of things. In terms of the phrase self-medication, I think that a lot of us do it, and a lot of people don't realize that they're doing it. There are a lot of people who say, I just like to have a glass of wine in the evening, but I think that if you took that glass of wine away from that person, they'd have a little bit of a rougher time than they think that they would.
The new school year became much more serious.
There was nothing to do, nowhere to go, and I found that I was had time to just smoke weed all day long.
I was drinking way more than I usually drink, and I was drinking at all times of the day.
I think I started drinking out of stress because of the expectations of work.
I don't think it was dependence. I think it was just routine that I had to have it daily.
The loneliness and not seeing friends and family.
Having to adjust to being on the computer all day.
The stress and anxiety from being home all the time with a 3-year-old started to get to me. By noon, I was wanting a drink, just something to take the edge off.
The substance abuse is it more became just a part of a ritualistic part of the day. You know what I mean? Because the days were just so yours, right? So when the days are just so open, you can really set things the way you want them.
Definitely raised the question, what should we do for fun? And suddenly we found an answer in drinking.
Как мне кажется, что мне поможет, это алкоголь. Хотя я понимаю, что это абсолютный депрессант. Мне не станет ни разу легче, но это какое-то бегство от себя на какое-то количество времени.
COVID has probably increased the amount of alcohol and weed I consume simply because I use it to negate the increased stress from COVID, while also forcing me to be social with 1 to 2 people, and a lot of the day is spent in quarantine alone.
Wake up, smoke a joint, make a little music, smoke another joint, blah, 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 blah.
Вообще хочется, чтобы это все уже поскорее закончилось, потому что пить мне не нравится.
I think COVID was just a little bit of it allowed for some serious self-reflection. So I guess in substances, I guess, had a part to do with that, at least in the psychedelic avenue.
For me, it's very important to care deeply about my clientele, and I want people to be able to use these substances like I have to be able to fill that hole permanently, not just to treat whatever's making them feel bad on a day-to-day basis. Addiction across the board is fundamentally the same thing. What substance people use to treat that is very, person to person, depending on their taste and what they've been exposed to. But yes, it does have the potential to treat all addictions. Johns Hopkins has done a study where they treated nicotine addiction with psilocybin with a great degree of success. I don't know if I forget the exact numbers, but I think it was a higher than 70% success rate just off of 2 psychedelic therapy sessions, right? Whereas the placebo people who are suffering from anxiety, from depression, from whether it's isolation, whether it's fear, because the media is just constantly telling us what to be afraid of, who to be mad at. Everyone's in the social media echo chamber, and it's like, it's really, really rough. There's just bad energy coming out of small angles right now. I think that it's terrific if people are using it responsibly and able to do that. I'm providing an essential service as far as I'm concerned, and at the end of the day, I'm not concerned with what's legal or illegal. I'm concerned with what's moral and ethical, and I think that I'm on the right side of history in this one.
I enjoy having a substance come in and change my thought patterns.
We all seem to be getting comfortable with this new normal.
I decided that I would only get to drink 1 day a week, and instead I started running to de-stress.
It really hasn't affected me. I have self-discipline. You often hear these people and they make excuses for themselves. That's not me. I go for runs and I work out.
Good, bad, right, wrong. That's not where it's at in this film. Right, wrong, good, bad. Those are things for you to decide.